So hello, my name is Jan Keromnes, and I'm here to convince you that developing Firefox on Windows can be easy and fun. Yes, I did talk about Windows. Windows is an important platform because that's where most of our users are, and not surprisingly, it's also where most of the bugs happen. Most of the crashes happen on Windows. I think it's about like 160 crashes per minute that happen on Windows, and it's pretty bad. Lots of intermittence. And actually, very few developers at Mozilla use Windows as their main development machine. Most of us use Linux or Mac. And so if you see a Windows-specific bug, chances are you're going to pass on it. You're going to say, I don't work on this normally. Like, please, somebody else look at it. But sometimes there isn't anybody else, and you need to fix it. And so you have a couple options. You can install and configure a virtual machine on your computer, or a dual boot, and these take a lot of time to set up. So like I put hours, but like sometimes it can take you days, or you can also request a loaner machine, and that can take days to get shipped to you unless you're a friend with IT and you at your office. And whenever you've set up this and like you fix your bug and you're done, and like you come back 6 months later, you need to do some updates, like you forgot how everything works, and getting everything up and running again takes you like about an hour. So it's not a great experience. The time required to fix the bug, I don't know about that. It depends on the bug and on the developer and on many things. But then once you have a fix, you either transplant the fix to your existing checkout on Linux, or you set up some tokens or API keys or SSH keys and like figure out how to get the thing onto code review. There's another thing that's called Instant Loaner, which is really amazing. You can start them from treeherder, and it spawns up it actually takes the container where the bug happened, and so you can reproduce it and fix it locally. And they work on Windows, and I put a little star next to the fix bug time because sometimes these are spot instances and they die for no reason at some point. So like you might be in the middle of your work and the machine crashes and you need to do everything again from scratch. Sorry about that. So what if there was a better way? What if we could use something like Janitor, which creates environments in seconds, and they're ready for work, pre-configured, and still takes you the same time to fix the actual bug. There's no way to cheat here. But there are also integrations with all the development services like Fabricator, etc., where you can just click a button and it does the thing, and like the API token is already generated, like, so you don't need to don't need to worry about all of this. You still need to write a commit message, so that takes about a minute. So what is this Janitor thing anyway? It's a website, and at its heart, it's a service that provides development environments instantly. Well, in 1.2 seconds average. They're private environments. You can create as many containers as you want, and they're pre-configured with a recent checkout of any of these projects, so Firefox or Servo or Thunderbird or many others. And so you don't need to check out, you don't need to install tools, like everything is already there. And if something is missing, you actually have sudo rights, so you can like apt-get install whatever you want. These are real Linux environments, and all these tools are accessible from the web. So it's familiar, and you can use it from an iPad or a Chromebook or etc. So it also has remote desktop, so you can run the software that you're actually debugging, so like interact with the menus and click. It's not quite 60 FPS speed right now. Like actually, a Servo developer asked for this. Like they want to fix 60 FPS scrolling, and it's not that great. But like I like to make a demo where I show a YouTube video over VNC, and it's watchable almost without sound. But anyway, the point is you can interact with it. What I'm trying to say here is that we will add Windows support. So everything I showed you was Linux. We're working on Azure virtual machines that we will pre-configure for Firefox development. They will have all the tools, and you will be able to spawn a new environment in seconds. So without worrying about installing a virtual machine or a dual boot or whatever. Like the point is to waste as little time as possible on the environment and spend as much time as possible on fixing the code, which is actually where our added value is. And everything is accessible from the web again. This is what it currently looks like. We have a prototype Azure virtual machine. We installed different IDEs and different tools, but we can install anything, basically. So like, if there's a tool you like, please reach out to us, and we'll install it in the image. And you have administrator right on the machine, so you can actually customize it as you want. It has Mozilla Shell. It has Cloud9 IDE, which we use on the Linux containers, but it also has Visual Studio. I'm running out of time, but a few integrations we can make possible because this is a service, and it's easy to integrate it with other services. So for example, we can add a button on the crash dumps that say load in Janitor. So instead of worrying about downloading a crash dump and like putting it into your debugger, and like, you can just click a button, it spawns up a new instance, it loads the debugger with the dump already inside, and you can just figure out on debugging the thing. Another cool integration would be in code review. If you want to review someone's patch, you can just click on a button and have it installed in some remote thing without messing with your local branches. You don't need to pause any of your work. You don't need to rebuild. It's pretty quick. So when will this all be available? At least the minimum viable product, we want to release that mid-2018. There's a little star because that actually depends on how much budget we get. But we want to give you mid-2018 instant Windows environments that are entirely pre-configured for Firefox and Servo development with all the great tools that you expect, and remote desktop that is entirely accessible by the web. So you could be coding on Windows from an iPad. And that's it. And if you want access to it before that, please email windows@janitor.technology. We would be happy to show you the early prototypes of what we're working on. That's it for me. Thank you very much.